Iran was not completely alone. North Korea became one of Tehran's important suppliers, sending hundreds of Chinese-manufactured Type 59 tanks and other weapons. China itself quietly expanded arms sales to Iran as well, even while publicly denying direct involvement. The war had become so profitable for international arms dealers that many countries were willing to sell weapons to both sides simultaneously, perhaps the most surprising supporters of Iran, however, were Israel and elements within the United States government itself. Israel's strategy was driven by cold geopolitical calculation. Israeli leaders viewed both Iraq and Iran as potential long-term threats. From their perspective, it was preferable for the two powers to exhaust one another in a prolonged conflict rather than allow either side to emerge dominant. As a result, Israel secretly supplied Iran with weapons, spare parts, training, and military equipment throughout portions of the war. These deals also benefited Israel economically, helping support its growing defense industry while opening channels for negotiations regarding the safe migration of Persian Jews from Iran to Israel. At the same time, secret factions within the American intelligence community became involved in one of the most controversial political scandals of the Cold War. Elements of the CIA saw Iran as a potential source of funding for anti-communist rebel groups in Nicaragua known as the Contras, who were fighting the socialist Sandinista government. Since direct American funding for the Contras had been restricted by Congress, a covert operation emerged. Weapons and spare parts for Iran's American-made military equipment were secretly transferred to Tehran, often through Israeli intermediaries. In return, Iran used its influence with Hezbollah-linked groups in Lebanon to help negotiate the release of American hostages being held there. Profits from the arms sales were then secretly redirected to support the Contras in Nicaragua. When the operation was eventually exposed, it exploded into what became known as the Iran-Contra affair, one of the biggest political scandals of the Reagan era. Critics accused the administration of violating American law, secretly trading arms for hostages, and bypassing congressional authority. The controversy severely damaged public trust and revealed just how complicated and contradictory international politics surrounding the Iran-Iraq War had become. By the mid-1980s, the conflict was no longer simply a war between Iran and Iraq. It had evolved into a global struggle involving spies, secret deals, proxy conflicts, world politics, nuclear fears, and the competing interests of superpowers determined to shape the future of the Middle East. With foreign powers continuing to support Saddam Hussein's war effort, Iraq began searching for new ways to weaken Iran and force the conflict in its favor. By